This is a short demo on the TAMMSOnline point of sale system. A lot of the features you're going to see you've already seen in existing systems like the CD warehouse system. This system was created back when Mark Kane opened up the first CD warehouse store, and we wrote the software package for him. Of course, over the years it's changed quite a bit, but I think you're going to see a lot of things in here that are common to what you already have in your existing system. The one thing to note is that this system does not actually run on your computer. It runs out of our warehouse, I'm sorry, our data center located in Richardson, Texas, and then you utilize a application that we load on your computer that will give you access to the system and your data based upon some security protocols. So we'll start here. This is the TAMMS terminal. This is the software that looks at your security and determines what you have access to. If you're just a single store, typically all you would see is that right there, just allowing you to go straight in. But if you have multiple stores, if you have many stores, then you end up seeing all the different stores that you have access to that you can go into. I am going to be using a couple of real stores, so I'm not going to try to change anything, but I'll get all the way up to the point and then let you go, get to a certain point so you can see all the processes that are happening, and then I'll back out of it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into one of these stores. This happens to be the Frisco, Texas Movie Trading Company store. And this is the terminal that will come up. Yes, I know at this point everybody's going, wow, this is an old program. It's using DOS. Well, actually, it's not using DOS. It is using the latest version of Windows. This was programmed in a language called C++. And we chose to go with and stick with the console environment, which is character mode, just purely before the performance. So go into the application. There are 10 different security levels. Of course, I'm going in one that's the highest. Different levels can see different things. Typically, manager has the highest, or the district manager has the highest level, or owner. And then one below that would be the store manager, and one below that would be an assistant manager, key holder. And then below that, you start getting into like the level 7s and 5s, things like that, which are really good for the store employee. So main menu, this tells you who you're logged in as. This 04 identifies which server you're logged into. We have 5 different servers supporting all the requests. Of course, the date. This tells us what register we're at. Well, register 99 is a non-openable register. So at my security level, I have the ability to emulate a register. So I'm going to go in and tell it to, go in and tell it to emulate register 1. Okay, now you see I'm register 1, my register is open, and this right here just means that this is a version of the software that does support mouse. That means also if you have touch screens, you can touch different places. The buttons that you see down here at the bottom, any of the menu items are all touchable, and they'll take you into different places. Okay, so let's start off first with the inventory. We'll do a title search. So with our title search, we can search on any of these items or any combination of these items. So as an example, if I wanted to look at the movie Triple X, but I only wanted to find the DVD copies, boom, there they are. So, and as you notice as you go through, then this area up here above changes, just giving you a little bit more information about it. So I'm going to go into the first one because you can see that we have 3 used ones in stock. So I would imagine all of this looks pretty much the same as what you've seen in the past. I'm not really sure if y'all have the internet pricing, but this would tell us what that this item, if it's loaded to Amazon, what it's selling for on Amazon. Of course, we show that we have three used average cost. Everything is average cost based. This we do have a bin system. I know CD Warehouse uses bin products. I'll go into a bin store a little bit later so you can see what it does. This particular store, they don't use bins, they use alpha cases on a lot of their stuff. This system does support rentals, so if you want, you can set it up so that you can do rentals, and you tell it the number of days the item can be rented. And when and typically in this system, anything in the store can be rented. And then what happens is when it's rented, a new sticker is printed for the item, and when it's returned, you scan that sticker, and it knows what item was rented, and then re-puts everything back into inventory. This allows you to set the item as being an inventory item or non-inventory item. I'm not really sure if y'all have this or not. This allows you to say that this particular item contains a serial number. So when that's set and you buy in something from a customer, it's going to ask you to scan in or type in the serial number of that item. And then later when you sell that item out, it's going to ask you to put in the serial number. That's kind of a good thing for loss prevention on customers, because we saw a lot of customers that would have a busted Xbox at home, so they come into the store and they get a new Xbox, and then they take it home, and then they take their busted one, put it back in the box, and take it back with the receipt and say, well, I decided I didn't want this anymore. Now we've got a busted Xbox, and we gave them back their money. This also, there's a police report associated with the serial number. So if your store was to get robbed and you had items that were serial numbers, you can run a report on the items that were missing and then hand that off to the police so they can, plug that in their database. Again, you can tell if it's taxable or non-taxable. I believe you pretty much have everything that's sitting here. This also tells you the number of days since the last time it was sold. We have a rating system, and in the rating system, if you utilize it, you can go in and say what age people have to be a certain age to rent a certain item. So when that happens and you hit that, say it's an R or an X, something like that, it will, when you scan it in the first time, it'll pop up on the screen asking you for the date of birth of the customer. I believe, I don't know if you, I think you have genre. Location is probably new for y'all. So the location is pretty much where the item is located in the store. You can put in some special comments. The release date does have a mechanism built into it that if the release date is in the future, so let's say it's, I don't know if y'all usually do a lot of new items, but on new items, they typically show up at the store on Thursday or Friday, and their release date is set for Tuesday of the next week. So the system won't let you sell anything that's release date is in the future. It has to be either on the release date or after before it allow you to actually sell the item. This is the last time that there was a price change on this item. So that kind of tells you that. The kit and quantities, those are pretty much they deal with items that you sell in bulk. So one of our clients, in fact this particular one, does a lot of comics, and so they have sheet protectors or comic book protectors, and so they either sell a box of them at a certain rate, or they'll break the box apart and sell individual ones at a different rate. So you do the kit breakdown to take things out of one thing into another. You notice the system just logged me out. If you're logged in, and this is a regulation within something called the payment card industry. It's Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express that put this together. And one of the things they say is that if your system is inactive for X number of minutes, and I believe it's 2 minutes, that's mandatory that you get logged out of the system. So that's the reason I just got logged out. Let's see here. The other thing you're not seeing right now, and we may see it on another login, but there's a login message that pops up after you put in your username and password and before you get to the menu, that allows you to, managers or owners or whatever can key in messages to the entire store, maybe sales goals, maybe congratulations, maybe something's coming up, things like that. And you can give it a date range from this date to this date, and so it'll automatically pop up on every login during those dates. So it's a good communications tool. So back to the inventory, go back into that same item. Okay, so one of the things I want to show you again, and this really only is good if you have multiple stores, but since this system does run in the data center through the cloud, it's all the stores are online at the same time. So by pressing this F9 button, it's going to tell us every store and what the quantities are for this item in all the different stores. And so if you're trying to tell your customer this is where you need to go to get it, you can also press enter and it'll go in and give you the information about the store, where it's located, what its phone number is, things like that. Of course, we have the ability to adjust the on-hand quantities. This is something that only managers can do. If you're a store employee and you press this, it will ask for the manager's password to be keyed in to allow you to go in. If you're a manager, it says, fine, you're a manager, go ahead. Using this key, you can deny that you don't want the store to buy this product anymore. So it's basically automatically sets it to a do not buy list. This allows you to print new barcodes. I'm sorry. That allows you to print new barcodes. This is alternate SKUs that you have tied to it. And just like your system, you have unlimited alternate SKUs that you can tie to the main SKU. This is the print where you can go in and say, I'm printing new items, used items, number of copies. Our barcode is a little unique. The last digit will tell if it's a new item or a used item. And the way that typically the system is set up is that on used items there's a U, and on new items there's nothing. So if it's scan a barcode, the system's going to assume that if it doesn't have a U at the end of it, then it's a new item or it's an item you're buying in from a customer. You can go in and do a request, and this allows you to put the information for this SKU on request with a phone number associated to the customer, so that when that item is bought in, it's going to print up a special label for that item saying that it's on request so that you can contact that customer. The unique thing about this particular screen or in this system is, again, if you have multiple stores, that request can be fulfilled by any of those stores as opposed to just a single store where the request was made. Reports. This just lets you kind of go in and do the inventory tracking report. We just put it on the screen because a lot of times when you're sitting here looking at inventory, you just want to go ahead and put in a date range and see whatever's happened to that particular item. We also support. Let's see if this works, because I'm actually on a Mac, not on a Windows machine, so the keys are a little different. Yeah, it worked. So we also support, showing you the last 12 months, new and used sales, and also rentals if you're doing rentals. The SKU can also be a ASIN too, and we support EANs, ASINs, and UPCs. Let's see. Oh yeah, and ISBNs, because we do have book clients. So I'm going to get out of the inventory. I think pretty much, you've got some of these you have, some of these you don't have. Physical inventory allows you to take, once all your product is labeled in the store with our labels, you can then take wireless scan guns. We typically use they call them the Symbol P360/P460 scanners. It's what they typically have in a Home Depot, in the big yellow scanner, ruggedized scanner, and you take that and you scan all your inventory, and then you put that in a cradle and it uploads to the system, and then it will take the physical information and bounce it against what was scanned, and then give you reports to tell you need to verify these numbers. It's going to tell you certain things are missing, certain things weren't in the system, barcodes weren't found, things like that. And then when you think that you've adjusted everything and everything's right, you hit a button, it'll automatically add those items or remove those items and correct your inventory. Um, the Again, this is another tool, this load ASN batch. So if you, and again, this deals more with multiple store environments, but when you do a transfer out of your store, one of the options is that you can say that you're transferring this to another store. And when you do that, it's going to print up a tracking number. In essence, we call it an advanced shipping notification, or ASN. You'll take that shipping note, that sticker, and stick it on your box or stick it in your box. And when it shows up at the other store, instead of them batching in everything by hand, they can scan that ASN sticker and it will automatically populate the batch with everything that was scanned in. Including the cost, and if that SKU doesn't exist in that system, it'll transfer that inventory information for that store. And then from there, you can either accept it as being factual, and it'll automatically load the batch in, or you can then rescan each individual piece, and it basically puts a check mark on the screen of each of the items that you scan. So, do it either way you want. Again, you've got all your reports, and these are all, we have two different report systems. So these are the reports that are in the TAMMS system. And then we also have a back office system that has your reports that are that output to Excel and PDF and Word and XML, a bunch of different formats. So get out of this, get out of this. We'll go on the sales screen. We'll do customer accounts real quick. I should have a customer account out here someplace. Let's see. Could have put in my name, would have been easier. Here we go. All right, so we have all the customer information in this limited field. What this allows you to do is go in and limit what that customer can do. So let's say this customer in the past has sold you some either bad product or stolen product, and you kind of got caught on it. Well, you can go in there and make buys a no, so it still allows them to do rentals, or we call them leases because ours are refunds. So you can selectively say, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. Or if you've got a customer in there and you don't want to do any business with them, you can put no's on there, and as long as you're using customers when you're doing sales and everything instead of just cash, then it'll track all the information, and it'll make sure that you can't sell to that person. We have these different types of employees. Okay, so in the back office, we have a mechanism that allows you to configure discounts based upon a employee type or a customer type. So in this particular case, employees get a special, if it's used items, they buy it at cost plus a percentage, and if it's new items, they get it at retail minus a percentage, and they can rent so many items per month within a 30-day period, but they can't rent anything that's new. It can only be used items, and they can't rent anything the first week that it's been released. So those are all types of rules that you can put together and then assign that to the customer, so it'll automatically do everything for you. Let me go back into this. I'll do it a little bit easier this way. I had it set up as Jeffrey, I think. Let's try that. No? Oh. That's what I was messing with. Okay, so now along with, just like we have alternate SKUs for inventory, we also have alternate SKUs for customers. So if I click down here, this one doesn't have any, but if, so the example would be a husband and wife that have an account. So one person has all their financial information in here about that person, and then the wife, you can just put in her or her driver's license number or her name or whatever you want to use to identify her, and put that into the system under an alternate ID, and then when she comes in to buy or do something, or rent something, whatever, they can use her ID and it'll automatically switch over to his ID. We also keep history on customers, so you can go in and see everything that they've done, leases, sales, returns, refunds. Um, there are notes that you can go in and look at. The notes are also going to tell you when certain things on the customer record are changed. So like here, there was a credit card that's on file that we put on file. There's information that we took out. Here's some more comments that we added, and who it was that did the changes. So here's everything that this particular account has rented, and this I've used as, I guess, a demo because I don't have anything rented out called G. But as you can see right here, it's showing you what hasn't been returned, where it was rented, everything else. Same thing down here. This is the rented. This is when it was returned. The store number that was returned to, the invoice associated to it. So of course you can do comments. This AVS is something you wouldn't see in yours. This is more of a debug tool for us. The system does allow you to put credit card information on file. It uses a credit card system that plugs into the point of sale, that uses what they call a frontward facing terminal. So you don't ever touch the credit card. Again, is a PCI regulation. The customer swipes the card, does all the stuff. So if you're going to put one on file, what happens is they swipe the card, the system goes off and gets a token of that card from the credit card company, which is First Data Merchant Services at this time, brings that tokenization back and stores that token so it can be used later. The system will also, if you enable it, will prompt you to re-verify the customer's phone number and credit card number that's in the system on certain dates, and then of course it records the last time you did that. If this customer is tax exempt, you can put in their tax ID number and it'll automatically make all sales tax exempt. Okay, so let's get out of the customer. Let's go into the sales screen. We're going to do a new sale, and I'm just going to wing this one. So we're going to sell XXX, and we're going to go down here to, let's do this one, Blu-ray. I'm going to sell it, and it's used. Now, this field where it asked me if it was used, it did that because it didn't know. I just put in the title XXX. It didn't know if I was doing a used or a new. If I had scanned, and I don't have a scan gun on my laptop, but if I had scanned the item with my barcode scanner, and it had the right, it had our label on there, it wouldn't have asked you if it was new or used. It would have just went on through the system. So anyway, we've got our item in here. Right now you can see this is tied to a cash customer. We can go in and say, oh no, I want to tie this to a real customer. So now it's tied to a real customer. Here's the customer content, comments, things like that. So I select it. So here's one where it's asking me, I haven't done the phone number in a few days. Now I've got that, and then it gives you some information. The last time there was a transaction done, the number of transactions that have ever been done with this customer, and the total amount, what the average transaction was. This is sales quarter to date. This is buys quarter to date. You can, at this point, you can go in and do some options on this sale. So let's say that if you wanted to make it tax exempt, you can make it tax exempt. Let's say I want to do an order discount. So an order discount, I can go in and say, I want to give a 10% discount, okay, to the entire order. Or if I wanted to, I could say, give me a 10% discount on only the DVDs on that order. Or only give me a 5% discount on only the new DVDs on this order. So when I hit enter through this, now you see I've got a discount reason that says 10%. And it's been adjusted from the $7.99, and you can tell here's the savings thing, the markdowns. You can still also just go in and do an edit, and you could modify the price. instead of doing a discount like that. And then now we've got a $2.59. No, it applied the 10% in addition. So you'd have to go back and tell it to not do the 10%. So I changed the price to $6, and then it gave me 10% off the $6. Of course, you can go in back to the inventory, do what you need to do, come back. You can use a quantity button, so you can say 10 and then scan the item, and it would do 10 of that SKU. Systems, I assume, is still like yours. You can hit escape and it'll spin the item, and you can go back into it at any station. Claim check just basically prints a receipt that's a small little piece of paper that you can give the customer, so when the customer comes back, they can give that to you. You can scan that, and it'll bring up the sale. That's really used in large stores. We've got one client that has 50,000 square foot store with over 50 registers in the store, so that really helps with them. So yeah, if I hit escape, you notice I go back into the sales screen. Here's that sale that I have pending. So I can just go right back into it. Boom, here I am. If I were to finish this sale, then it's going to ask me, is this going to be a check, cash, check, credit card, gift card. C2C is a special gift card program for this company, but we have it for everybody. They actually call it cooler than cash. No, let me back up. C2C is not that. Gift card is their cooler and cash. C2C is a program that they're working with another company where they're buying gift cards like Best Buy cards and Red Lobster cards, things like that, and then putting the information into the system, and then they send these cards off to that company, and that company turns around and gives them money plus extra money for what they bought. So it's kind of a customer ends up getting cash, the store does hardly anything to get it, and the store makes more money off of it. So if you want the information about that, I can get you in contact with the people. So I'm not going, if the system allows you to take up to 32 different credit cards on one sale, also will allow you to take up, I want to say, up to 32 different gift cards on one sale. So there's a lot of different ways. You can mix and match this any way you want. I'm going to escape out of it because I don't want to finish it. I'm going to clear this. I'm going to quickly do a buy and let you see the buy transaction. So let's do another sale screen. Go into a new sale. And you can tell this is a live store I'm in because here's two transactions right here that are happening on other registers in the store. So anyway, go back in here. So we're going to do this again, but this time we'll do the VHS. I'm going to do a buy, and so during the buy, it's going to pop up information, about how many I have in file, what levels they are, what values, what I'm going to give for it, like 5 cents for that. CTC, this is their gift card program called Cooler Than Cash. So basically, if you at the end of a buy, it'll ask you, do you want to give them cash or do you want to give them CTC, which is, I'm going to put store credit on a gift card. And typically what they do is they put 50% in addition on the store gift card, because that way the store gift card can only be used in your store anyway. So it's kind of like you're not giving them money and you're making them buy more stuff. But the percentage is something, if you utilize that, it's something that we can address, we can set up and say it's 10%, 25%, whatever, 13.3%, whatever you want. And then we also use a hard plastic gift card with a barcode on the back that's full color on the front that you design. And we can go in and talk about that later. So around here I can either say yes, I want to buy it, or no, I don't want to buy it. And then you can also tell it's not on a request list. So yeah, let's say I want to buy it. So the first thing it does, it says, okay, I need to know the customer that's buying this. And of course we do all that because we generate a lot of information that if your police department requires it, many police departments require you to send information to companies like Leads Online. We have interfaces built into the system that will automatically send that stuff, but you have to enable that. So we're not just telling the police what you possibly have in there or what you don't have. But if it's required, then yeah, you have to do it. And, but it's easy, and then you don't have to worry about it. It automatically sends the data every night at the close of the day. So anyway, that's the buy process. So I'm not going to finish anymore. I probably told you more about it than what you wanted to know anyway. Again, on the sales screen, we also have different reports. Again, going back, we have this police report, which is going to tell us things. These are items that were bought in, invoices. This is all items bought in by one person. So store does a lot of buys. Of course, we'll get different buy logs, purchase details. I'm sure you have all of these reports or something like these reports and everything. You probably don't have these because I don't think y'all do rentals. A couple of special reports here. Employee report. A lot of things that we do from a loss prevention standpoint. No offense to employees, but some employees do find creative ways of doing things. So at one time, the system was running at Blockbuster. So we had Blockbuster's loss prevention department come up with different things that we had to have in here. So let's see. Again, if you're using the gift card system, you go into this option, it'll just pop up a thing. And at this point, you're supposed to scan the barcode on the back of the gift card, and it'll display on the screen what the balance is on that gift card, and it has the option of printing up a little receipt that you hand to the customer that they can walk away with. If they use the gift card on the transaction, it'll automatically put the balance on the bottom of the receipt, so they'll always know what that is. Again, here's your current sales. I'm sure you still have this, in your stores. This store is about probably about a 6,000 square foot store, and they don't usually do a whole lot of business until the evening hours. Okay, so we also have of course, a lot of different maintenance items. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get out of this system. I'm going to go into another system that is being used by a ex-CD warehouse. So if you see the name, you probably know who it is. Don't shout it out. Let's see. Just have to find it. Here we go. So this deny SKU list, their SKU list is huge, and possibly it's for sale too if you want to utilize it. So you'd need to contact the store owner and see if he'd be willing to part with it. But if he is and gives us information in writing, then we will be glad to load that into a system for you. So the reason I wanted to bring this one up is they are running the newest version of the system. And one of the things the newest version has is a very sophisticated pricing mechanism. So their pricing mechanism is huge. It was designed by them based upon not only what CD Warehouse had, but I believe some of their ideas and suggestions that CD Warehouse could not implement because they lost their programmer. Programmer decided to be a nurse. So anyway, when I say that it's sophisticated, it does more things than you can imagine, including using things at the matrix level, but also integrating things at the Amazon level. So there's basically any type of way you want to do your buy pricing, the system will support it. This one is so big that it also will import and export Excel files, so you can go in and manipulate it, and then you can change it up for different stores and just load it in stores without having to recreate everything in the world on here. So the system also has a built-in time clock, so you can set it up so when the users log in, that they're clocked in, they get clocked out at the end of the day, and in the back office there's a set of reports that you can run that will give you information, their timesheets basically, and then you can take that information, it's in Excel, you can take that and feed it into a payroll system or whatever to run their run their paychecks. Let's see, of course you got users. I'm not going to go into it because it will show you some stuff that you probably shouldn't see, but it does have this maximum discount, so you can go in and say that this particular employee cannot give a discount or reduce the sale of an item more than what the max discount is. So that's another little savings thing. You also have the ability to go in and reprint reports, so like cash recs, things like that are stored forever, but other reports that can that are just sitting out there. We have a huge storage facility that's just keeping all the reports for everybody. These are just different configuration things. You can do messages on receipts because based upon items that are being sold to let people know that an upcoming sale is going to happen. You can tell the system to prompt the clerk certain messages when certain things happen, like you're buying a video game. You could say that anytime it's a video game is sold, that it pops up on the screen once, not for every video game you sell, but it pops up to the clerk, telling the clerk, don't forget to remind customer about blah. Maybe they want to see the sale you have on controllers or something. I don't know. So that's clerk messages there. Leads online, that's the interface I was telling you about that sends information off to the police. The ratings is, they don't use the ratings in this one, but ratings is where you can go in and say if it's an R or an NR or something like that, then they've got to be at least 18, and they'll figure out that. Let's see, I think that's probably about it. The other couple of things I wanted to show you are outside of this. So I'm going to get out of the system here. Yeah, it's not that one. There we go. Quickly show you a little bit of the back office. So in the back office system, you would see the reports that I've run, and then if there's any reports running on any of our report servers, you'd see them running. It'll show you everybody's reports running, and the reason for that is just, if you're waiting for a report to run, you're wondering why it's taking so long, then you can see what the backlog is. So we have 7 report servers that handle different reports. So under the reports, we have, well, let me expand the screen. So under the report server, we have several different reports. Probably the one that's most interesting is the product extract report, which is a huge spreadsheet based upon on the left hand side is every SKU you have in your store. On the right hand side is what you've got in stock, new and used at each one of your retail locations, what it is, titles, categories, that kind of stuff. And then it also will tell you what you've bought in from customers and what you sold out to customers within a date range that you give it when you run the report. So it's kind of handy. There's a timesheet report. There's a serial number report I was telling you about. Day sheet is basically a report that's that you would run, let's say, for a month, and it takes all of your cash recs that you did at the end of the day and puts all of that into an Excel format. So every day is a column, and then your rows are, have your different categories. And so it's just a real quick, easy, be able to see where you are type thing. We've got some gift balance reports. We've got Amazon price compare. So that'll take items that's in your inventory and bounce it against our Amazon database that we update every 24 hours. And we'll tell you what the average selling price of that item is, what the what the sales ranking of that item is, different things. So, you know, it's handy, really handy when artists die that you can go out there and say, oh, okay, the values are going up. I need to raise the values in the store along with that. We've got some graphing so you can go in and see what was my sales year to date compared to the same time last year and see both sets on different grids. This is, let's see, these are the different price lists. Well, I don't have any price lists under this, but this would be where the customer employee pricing, the customer could have different pricing if they were like a membership level type thing. This probably isn't going to run, but let's see. It may give us some data. No, it's not. I'm not logged in as an actual store, so I'd have to log in as an actual store. But this is we have an Amazon interface. Amazon is a little bit different as far as billing. We charge 2% gross on Amazon sales. And for that, we do all the Amazon and we do all the shipping and everything else. We have a software program that does everything for you. But this is a dashboard that would tell you, you know, how you're looking, how you look this month, how many orders are waiting to still be shipped because somebody hasn't been watching it. There's a lot of information they'll give you, and you can drill down on this and go into more detail. I will put, if you're interested in this, I'll put together another demo and concentrate just on that. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. The last thing I wanted to show you is what our I know where I am. Close off. Okay. Let's bring this. Let's see if I can bring this into focus here. Okay, so our price stickers look like this. This is actual size. We have a little bit of information on the sticker. You can tell we do the price sticker large. We actually have two color stickers. We have a white sticker, and this is called goldenrod. We found that we had an industrial psychologist come up with this when we were doing stuff for Blockbuster, that if you sell new and used items, if you have a white label and you put those on new items and you put the goldenrod label on used items, it forces the consumer to look at the used item where you make more profit. But the system will also, if you sell something new, it will, and you have it in stock used, it'll pop up on the screen to tell the clerk, hey, we've got this used, and it'll be a savings. So you can kind of, it helps direct them to the used product. On our receipts, we use a receipt printer like what you see at restaurants. They just use white paper rolls, and we can burn your logo into it, the printer, so it prints up on all the receipts. You can see here's a receipt that we did. Here's total. This is how much money they gave us, $4.32 in cash. You can put in a disclaimer, whatever you want to, or a message on the receipt. And then this barcode is unique. If you reprint a receipt, this is another employee theft thing. If you reprint a receipt, it will not print the barcode. But if you do a refund on a sale, the first thing it's going to do is ask you to scan this barcode. Now, if the customer doesn't have the barcode, that's cool. The manager has to keep type in a override password, and that'll let it go ahead and process. But the normal clerk can't. So this is a refund receipt, which is a little different. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here in case there's... Okay, I can't make it bigger. So anyway, this is the receipt here that the customer actually gets to take with them. This is the receipt that stays in the store, and you can see down here it's asking for some information like what the driver's license number was, what the original invoice number was. It's going to ask for the customer to sign it, as an ask for the clerk that did it, initial it, and possibly another clerk or the manager to initial it. So, you know, it's just getting it to the point where you're not blindly giving money out of the drawer. You've got multiple people responsible for it. And the last thing is, this is a buy receipt. We used to do very detail-oriented buy receipts with each line item and everything. But then we started finding that customers would start fighting with us. They start looking at the receipt going, oh, well, you know, it was worth a lot more than this. How come you only gave me this and you only gave me that? So what we did is we just went to the one that says total number of pieces and the total price that we gave you. And that way they don't know that we, you know, what price they got for each individual item. They just know what price they got in their pocket. So, all right. So this concludes this demonstration. There are multiple systems within this application that are outside of the scope of just the point of sale, and they really deal more with very large clients. So these things are like electronic data interchange, where you can send orders and receive shipments electronically to people like Ingram Entertainment, Ingram Books, AEC. I mean, we have like 5 or 6 companies that we deal with that when the product shows up at your doorstep, you scan the UPS shipping barcode, and it will automatically populate information in your store about that item and brings over all the pricing. We have, like I said, we talked briefly about the Amazon interface. We have, you know, I said the physical inventory system that's built in. We have a, trying to think if there's something, I know there's other things, I'm just running into a blank. As far as us as a company, I'm going to bring this screen over here real quick so y'all can see it. Let me shrink it down. We have, like I said, we have everything in a data center. And this data center, we have a network operations group that is constantly monitoring the data center. So these are all telling us different things that are happening at the stores. Like right now, these are five of our servers. 2 of them look like they're well, let refresh. 2 of these look like they're just in standby mode, and these others have customers on there. So there's 400 basically customers per server that are operating right now. This is bandwidth coming out of our data center. These would be reports that are running. These are processes that are constantly running, and if any process goes red, then we know about it and we know there's an issue. These are help desk tickets for the different people that we have working in the company that work on help desk. Speaking of help desk, we operate a help desk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's always at least 3 dedicated people on the help desk. So if there's any issues, you know, we can address those. So anyway, I think that's probably about all I've got. If you've got any questions, feel free to give me a call. Or if you'd like, you can email me. My email address is JEFF period Benton, B as in boy, ENTON, at POS, as in point of sale, dash solutions.net. So let's see. I think that's going to do it. Let me go ahead and stop this.